Okay, true friendship, true friendship. All right, now, I actually have this program, Grandpa Honesty Guy and the Jesus Goodies, but I don't even like to use the term Jesus because that freaks people out, because people have been abused by quote unquote Christians and the whole militarized political mess, ugly, greedy mess of churchianity. So here is the program. If you want to be friends with each other, I'm giving you a program that goes back to ancient times. Number one, this box I call it pleasures and problems. All right. If there is an active spirit realm, if there are spirit beings that hate humans, if those spirit beings can actually run you off track and cause you to be obsessed with one or two things and ignoring other things, then it's a good thing to make a list of the pleasures and the passions that engage you and the things that piss you off and the things that make you afraid. Some people are scared of spiders. Some people aren't. Some people are, basically picture yourself being observed by very powerful spirit beings who literally run entire societies and media and nations. And they are observing you to see what you're obsessed with, to try to get you to remain in an obsession to a point where you're actually being self-destructive. And if you're really being friends with one another, it's a way of actually cheerfully saying, hey, I'm a little bit crazy in this area. If I go to the skate park, I may stay there all night and never do any of my study work or et cetera, et cetera. So making personal lists of the areas where we're crazy. I always like to say human beings are a little bit insane. What kind of insane are you? Now, that's a reality. So you want to care for your friends. If you have a friend that's terrified of riding a bicycle and they really need to get some exercise, then get a tandem bike and put them on the back and help them learn from your balance and your pedaling how to just be a bike person because they're stuck to somebody who's comfortable with a bike. I really like tandem bikes a lot. It's a good way of being friendship. So now, female human being. Now, I want to point something out to you. The female human being is issued this cycle, which is a problem, a pain, a difficulty. And also, the female human being is generally quite aware of whether she is accepted or approved of by others. And that's just a reality. Some women more than others. But I discovered in ancient writings that there was a practice of giving the fertile female human beings of the family 14 days of extra kindness and care from the human beings in the family. And I've met a fascinating couple, one of whom is a sailor and a restorer of stuff, which is really cool for me because that's what I am. I restore antique stuff. And now I'm kind of restoring antique human beings to the fresher human beings that they could be. So anyhow, I am giving a challenge to the sailor, the restorer guy, for all the women in your life, especially your most important special one, to actually create a set of 14 days worth of cards written to the woman for when she's in her cycle. You just showed up a brand new, beautiful child, a girl child. Now you are woman power. You are able to catch that flow and make it grow if you want to, and if God is willing. So therefore, since we are all so happy with you, you can just rest in the comfort, and we will send kindness, patience, forgiveness, and mercy and supply and support to you in this time when you're in your cycle. This is day number 4. See, each one of these days is corresponding to a day of 14 days. When the woman's flow starts, you begin counting 14 days. And you encourage the woman to read the things that you have written. You are like God, the life giver, the womb, the place where everything begins. Now, some people have had problems with mothers and relationships and things. The love and life power that's inside of you is the love and life power that gave me life. You are the beautiful inner power. We appreciate you. Now, if you never have a child, you, the woman, still have a cycle that happens over and over and over and over again in the entire fertile period of your life. Day 5, refreshing day. When God created things, he said, it is good for all the various things he made. When he created man, Adma, the red dirt, he said, it is not good. Then after he created woman, you, he said, it is very good. Therefore, woman form is the last and most wonderful part of all creation, according to the writings that hold the predictions. The woman is the last and most wonderful part of all creation before Yeshua was sent to solve the problem of the invasion of evil. You and Yeshua are the most beautiful. That's day 5. So you get the picture, all right? Now, so that means the whole family is being a friend to the woman in her cycle and is celebrating the fact that the woman form is such a miracle. You know, I want to back up and do one courageous thing. Here's a thing that I believe that every father, but okay, preface with this. One of my favorite research points is when you begin to communicate with children about the flow and the feel good, the sexual aspects, both the pleasure part and the, reproductive power flow. And this, a handful of teachers say it is never too early. It's just an ordinary part of all of our lives. And you can do it. You can communicate about it in a creative way. Now, if you're a little child and you're noticing that the girls who grow up at a certain point, when they start getting their cycle, they get to pick out these cards for 14 days and read these sweet encouragements that everybody's written to them. That's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. And 14 days out of a month, that's a half of a woman's life when she's fertile. And that's really cool. That there's a reassurance that's coming to a woman when you, brother, take the time to make the effort to really write out your personal appreciation of the woman and the women in your home who are in their cycle, you are doing a very, very powerful protective thing, because that woman is not going to sell herself short. She is going to be being told that she is a treasure and she is amazing. But the one daddy thing that I feel should be declared is that when my body is aroused and ready, the one thing that a woman has is the perfect, smooth, comforting place that is so delightful I mean, it's unimaginably pleasant and pleasurable and wonderful. And the woman does not have to do anything. She doesn't have to have a special costume on. She doesn't have to have any kind of, special cosmetic enticement. The woman just literally has the satisfying comfort and refreshment for the man when the man is big. It is good for the father to say, listen, you kids, remember, your mom, this woman, the woman form, is such a marvelous good feeling. The woman doesn't have to do a thing. She is exactly what is comfortable and nice and pleasant. Now, moving on. I mean, that's basically number one. The number one point in Grandpa Honesty Guy and the Jesus Goodies is, if you don't take the time to be amazed at the woman form, your life is not going to be as complete as it could be. And then the female human being who has her own man to be with, if she sits with him and helps him learn how to get almost to the point of the flow and then calm down, and then do that 3 times in a row, and then do that 6 times in a row and 9 times in a row, basically the man is being desensitized and strengthened in saying no to himself. And their times of intimacy can last for a lot longer. But walking single like Yeshua is even better, because you end up having more friends, more self-control, more miracles, more travel, more time alone to write poetry and truth, to build businesses that support the children and the needy people. All kinds of stuff that you can do if you are not in the marriage covenant. So also in the same house, if the male human beings ever have a flow of seed for whatever reason, there are 3 sets of cards: love, hope, and faith. Faith, hope, and love. Now, the word hope in the Greek language literally means like an anchor. It means confidence. It's not, oh, I hope someday that maybe I'll have a pair of socks to wear. No, it's like, I am confident in the invisible powers that are caring for me. Faith, hope, and love. So these 3 boxes have little notes from the family to the male human beings. You are, the seed, the baby fountain. You are the seed giver, and the woman is the baby catcher. But it's even greater to be quiet and say no to the pleasure and the reproductive if you're able, because if you stay close with a group of people in a truth meal, you can actually walk single and have a very, very loving balance and care with a lot of different people. But you have to be candid, with yourself and what you need. And I mean, it is written, it is better to marry and take a person of your own than it is to be stuck burning with passion and hunger, desire. So yes, select your person and be satisfied. So the edging, the semen retention is a thing that I learned very late in life, 36 years old. And then the teacher said, these are the things that a child can be taught at 6 to 10 years old. Just literally the Kegel exercises. When you learn to say no to your bottom, you're going to open up your crown and be more connected with spirits and the spirit of peace, the designer of all things. And of course, this topic is, going to be considered racy and problematic and da-da-da-da-da to plenty of people. But I'm telling you, my heart was broken for 40 years. I wrecked a marriage. I literally was living in this secret pleasure world. And it really was, sort of a miracle from God that I was refreshed and taken out of that atmosphere of obsession with the physical pleasures. And so I care about people, and I don't want kids to go through what I went through for so long, being stuck on, looking at pictures of naked people and all this kind of stuff. So if you look up the NoFap movement, NOFAP, no free access pornography, that's what that means. Swearing off free access pornography, and then also the no PMO, no pornography, masturbation to orgasm. So there are people who are not Jesus, God, Church, and Bible people who have discovered that when they quiet themselves down and they basically say no to lots and lots of self-stimulation, they have less social anxiety. They become more successful. They're better at their classes and student work, and all kinds of neat stuff happens because these people are doing the NoFap, no PMO work. So if you look up NoFap and no PMO, you religious people will be amazed to discover that these are like not God-focused people, but they are in a state of refreshing self-control because they've discovered the science of more contentment and strength and wholesomeness in their relationships. So these are some of the things that are a delight to me and that can be part of life in your family. If your whole family cares about the flow of the woman and the flow of the man, and there isn't like a really scary stigma, I mean, I'm telling you, my physical male body is sometimes quite irresistible. And even if I'm not with a person, it's sometimes difficult to resist. And I have many stories and interviews with various people talking about masturbation and self-stimulation and, the standard human urges and, what to do with them and how to handle them. So 14 days of encouraging statements, 3 boxes of encouraging statements for the guys, and a box of your pleasures and problems, the areas where bad spirits can see that you're a little bit crazy, or you have some hate, or you have some fear, or you have an obsession. I used to be obsessed with cool antique cars and car shows, and I literally needed to downplay that completely for a period of time in order to build in training about other things. And that's what's going on here. This is my skill. This is my gift to the family.